3D Lilo from Lilo and Stitch Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish. Hi guys, in today's video I am going to be showing you a really cute little Lilo from Lilo and Stitch, and tomorrow I will be uploading the stitch that goes right along with this one. And if you guys like these two, I do have a past stitch design that is just on natural nail, so I'll put a link to that in the description box below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye! So to start out my Lilo nail, I began with a pale blue background. So I have a Lilo and I'll be uploading Stitch tomorrow, and I wanted their backgrounds to complement the other characters. So since Stitch is all blue and such, I decided to make Lilo's background a blue color, and vice versa for Stitch, which you will see tomorrow. After I've got that background color down, I'm going to be encasing it with a layer of clear acrylic to make sure that it is nice and strong and helps protect that color that's underneath. So it doesn't have to be a super thick layer, but just enough to really add some integrity to the nail. After that's done, I'm going to be filing it into shape with my e-file, starting out with a fairly coarse bit to remove any bulk, and then switching off to a finer bit just to smooth out the surface texture and make sure that it is very easy to work on top of, especially with that black acrylic that I'll be using for her hair. And so now, with a beige color acrylic, I'm going to be sculpting out her face and her neck. So I'm adding a circle for her face, and then after you have that, add just a really short little shape underneath that for the little bit of her neck that shows. She's got a fairly high neckline on her dress, so not too much of her neck or her shoulders shows, but you do need to add just a little bit there. After that, I'm going to take a coral color and add the top of her dress. So just add the one side, and don't worry about doing the sleeves of it at this point, just do the body portion of the dress. The sleeves will come later. And after you have that part done, then I'm going to move on and start doing some of her hair with black acrylic. And like I said in the filing portion, how filing it, make sure it's really smooth, helps because you're using black acrylic. The reason that's the case is if there's any little scratches in the background, which when it's being filed are just going to appear, even if you don't really see them, they're there, and that's why it feels a little bit possibly rough after you've done the filing. And the black acrylic, if you try to push it in or smooth it out or just manipulate it and remove it from any of the blue background, it's going to stain it. So if the nail is very smoothly buffed, it's going to come off a lot easier, and it's just going to make the design look more clean. So I've got her hair started, I've got it on the one side, and then I'm going to be adding her bangs just along the one side. So it's so funny, people out and about, they always compare Melody to different characters from certain things, and she gets Lilo every once in a while, especially when she was younger because her hair was darker, her hair is lightened, and she gets Moana all the time. And I think now she looks more like Moana, but I think right after she was born she definitely had a Lilo type of look to her because her hair was pretty much black when she was born. Now it's kind of a coppery brown, but I think it's funny because she looks like little Disney girls. But then I'm going to be adding the other side of her hair going down, just like so. It doesn't show as much on that side, so you don't have to worry about adding nearly as much as the other side. And then I'm going to be adding her arms with that beige color that you used for her face. And so the reason that you wanted to wait on doing the little sleeves of her dress is because you're going to do them after her arms are in place, so you can kind of go over just the edge of her arm. And you're also going to want to add her little ear, but wait for the black acrylic to set before you add the ear. So that's why I jump around on my designs a lot, and I do a little bit on this area and a little bit on that area. I'm waiting for certain things to set or to cure before I'm done with them, or before I add more to that area. So it might seem like I'm doing things at random, but there really is a reason for it. Usually, sometimes I really do just do things randomly for no particular reason, but a lot of times it is so that I'm working in different areas that I don't have to worry about the acrylic moving on me, that I've already finished and I'm happy with. So add her other arm up in kind of a little waving motion at the other sleeve, just like so, over the end of that arm. And I missed, for whatever reason in the video, adding her nose, but you also want to add her nose with the beige color acrylic. So now I'm going to slightly dilute my black paint, and I'm going to be doing all of her little outlines. And being that she is a cartoon character, I did plenty of outlines. Disney doesn't really have as many outlines as some other cartoons do, but they do have a little bit of outlining done on all of theirs. So just go through and do a little bit here and there. Her hand is partially cut off on the edge of the nail, so you don't have to complete that, but then add little outlines around her nose. And then you're going to need to add the outlines of her eyebrows. And they go right up into her bangs, so you don't see her eyebrows too much, but they are there. And then add her eyes. And if you wanted to do the outlines of her facial features first with a brown instead of doing it straight with black so that any mistakes aren't nearly as obvious, that is a technique that I use all the time because I'm never 100% confident when I'm painting something that's a person. Like, you can give me a tiger to paint and I'm content as can be and I'm confident in it. If you give me a person, I'm always like, oh, it's a person. And so a lot of times I'll do a layer of brown for my outlines of facial features first so that if I make any little mistakes, I can easily fix it. But this one, apparently I was just feeling all ready to go for it and I went straight to black. After I've got the outlines of her eyes and her mouth done, I'm going to fill in her eyes with some white. Just add that first layer in, and then fill in her mouth with some burgundy or a darker red of any kind. And after those paints have dried a little bit, I'm going to take some blue and do some highlights on her hair. And I know blue might seem like the wrong color for that, but it's a pretty dark blue and it doesn't really show up as being blue. It just shows up as a little bit lighter. And if you do gray highlights on black hair, it makes it look faded. So if you do blue, it makes the hair look really bright and shiny. Then I added a little pink tongue, add some darker brown in her eyes, little black pupils, a little white highlight, and she is pretty much done on the facial feature front. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to do some little bright white fronds on her dress. So just go through and add, first I added just kind of a little, almost a leaf shape in the beginning, and then I'm going to be adding, that's actually for the vein in the center of the frond. So it leaves a little bit of the dress color without any of the white paint. Then add the fronds going around it and just fill in her dress here and there where you can. And then I'm going to be adding some gel sealer in the background to make it nice and shiny. And then some matte top coat over Miss Lilo. And you're all done. Check back tomorrow. I'll be uploading Stitch. And here is a little Melody Minutes.
Good job, nice jammy parade. Those are the best looking.
Hey Melody, what do you have going on there? Were you drawing an art project? You want to hold it up? Can we see? Oh, it looks so nice. Did you get some on yourself too? Yeah, it looks good. Are those scented crayons delicious? Did you get more on you than you did the paper? Looks like it. I hope you guys like that cute little Melody Minutes. We are at a family reunion and she had to do a jammy parade for everybody. Please take me in any recreations and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!